Did you want to talk about Keir Starmer first, and then Solmani can definitely take the floor?
Can
Because
we
Keir
address the
Starmer.
elephant in the room? So let's do it. We can once the elephant has been thoroughly this is a horrible metaphor. Um I'll put them I'm not going to make any metaphors about hunting elephants. That's Jesus Christ. Keir
Too British.
Starmer.
It's too real.
Listen, I disavow whatever my ancestors did. Fuck those people. I'm glad they're dead. Carry on.
True. It's very
Um,
true.
Keir Starmer, Prime Minister of the UK, still at this moment, apparently, despite the fact that he can't really do anything. I guess he is actually pushing through a lot of stuff right now to sort of try and get his agenda through at the last minute. His agenda being apparently reforming the immigration system to make it more cruel and more horrible and to hurt more people, to crack down on civil liberties, to debank the Canary, which is a left-wing newspaper, a left-wing on e-zine, and what was the other thing he was doing? Trying people and making it very hard to say things about Palestine, or you go to jail for 14 years. That guy, you can already hear why I don't like the guy. Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, has resigned, announced his resignation. He said he was going to leave. I believe he said he'll be out by September. He is not. He's going out much, much sooner than that. And he's going to be replaced by a man called Andy Burnham, also known as the King in the North. Not a Game of Thrones thing, even though it is a Game of Thrones reference. He's the mayor. Oh, yeah, thank you, Sinan. He raised defense spending out of nowhere. That was the other thing, and this is important to mention before I forget about it. So he decided very last minute on his way out, can no longer win anything. So this is purely ideological on his part. He's going to cut energy and like our commitments to energy and making things work. After a heat wave, and while energy price about to go up, I'm going to redirect it all to defense. Apparently, which because
Oh my
everyone,
god.
you know, what, if there's anything that people always tell me, and when I ask them what they think about politics, they always say, you know what, I really love bombs, and I hate having my energy bills be too low. So that's what he's decided to do. Andy Burnham, who's going to replace him, is was the mayor of Greater Manchester up until basically just now. He's quite famous for bringing the buses up there back into the control of the public. Not as good as it sounds on a lot of things, and generally that's sort of the theme of his. Is he sort of touted as a very powerful leftist figure when he's not really at all. He's sort of famous for the ideology people call Manchesterism, which isn't actually an ideology, but that's for another day. That's not really important. So Keir Starmer out. Why is he out? Well, he's out because he's doing really, really terminally unpopular. Like, he's literally the most unpopular prime minister we've ever had, which is crazy given how many things everyone else has
That's
done. And
a
a lot of,
statement. Yeah, that's compared
yeah.
to Liz Truss. That's
Oh, yeah.
insane. But
I mean, to be fair, they didn't have a lot of time to get there. Um,
that's true.
um, and one of the things, one of the funny things, and one of the reasons he got here really is so Keir Starmer basically got in on a platform of crushing the left. So he won the Labour leadership election to after Jeremy Corbyn lost the 2019 election, and basically said like, I'm going to do Corbynism but with a tie on, and I'm just going to not mention Palestine because Corbyn got in trouble for that. And Labour members were apparently like, yes, let's do it, even though everyone I've talked to about it did not vote for him. But that's by the by. He got in, immediately betrayed everyone and said, no, I was just lying. I hate the left. And then told everyone that they should leave if they were left wing. Lots of people did. Labour membership dropped like hundreds of thousands. And then he got in, basically on a platform, I'm going to do what the Tories would do, but more efficient. People I talked to that were voting for him thought he was going to actually be progressive, despite everything that he said. Unsurprisingly, he was not. Some of you might know Keir Starmer for appointing Peter Mandelson as US ambassador. Actually, his main advisor was a guy called Morgan McSweeney, who is the protege of Peter Mandelson. And if you don't know who that is, Peter Mandelson was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. I mean, his turn was actually fairly a lot sooner. So he was very involved in like prosecuting the London riots and making a lot of like say black people rightly angry about the murder of Mark Duggan.
Yeah.
And basically making sure they go to jail for long periods of time for doing very petty crimes. So he's been doing this kind of just explicitly racist shit for a while. So he was a human rights lawyer in the past, but sort of thing is long behind him. And Sin's pointing out the chat that he also famously represented Silvio Berlusconi. If you don't know, that was Italy's famously corrupt former prime minister and actually sort of the proto-Trump. Really, is
Oh,
very Trump
oh,
one
yeah, yeah,
coded.
yeah. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Terrible.
And then obviously we have Palestine Action and the crackdowns on that, and the crackdowns on
Crazy.
free speech in general. Yeah, trying to get rid of jury trials. They can do people who protested for Palestine and put them in prison for what they eventually got 14 years, I believe, for terrorism, for spray painting a plane. Absolutely crazy stuff.
Crazy.
And that's not even mentioning the trans stuff. So the
Mm.
bathroom ban under Keir Starmer. He kept the puberty blockers ban from the Tories and extended it. That was meant to be like a temporary thing. He's made it permanent now. Education reform, so making sure that trans kids get outed to their parents, making sure you can't talk about trans people in school, and the bathroom ban, and pushing through the bathroom ban, and being very, very friendly with that kind of thing and those kind of people. So good riddance. He will not be missed, but also it might not be much better from here because Andy Burnham's like to be very similar. And then he's also, one of the things he's done is that all of these crackdowns on civil liberties and crackdowns on free speech will be used very much by Nigel Farage, who is likely our next prime minister and who is an outright fascist. So he's just given him the tools. He doesn't even need to set the precedents anymore. He can just go in and now just attack his political
It's
opponents on spurious grounds.
it's like the reverse of how Trump in the US is doing a bunch of things that gives more power to the government, which people are saying hopefully the Democrats can take advantage of. So it's like the opposite here. It's like the red carpet of fascism is just being laid out in front of Nigel, and he barely has to move his racist ass to get to it. But so I wanted to ask this about Andy Burnham. He's obviously establishment, like the similar level of not going to do anything Labour, but like, is there any hope? That I know that's the worst way to ask him. Like, is he a good guy,
I
or is
mean,
he just a piece of shit as well?
uh, ish. Not really, no. But I don't want to give no hope yet, just in case. But no. But there could be. But no. Before I get there, just while it's on my mind, because you brought up the American comparison, what I actually was going to bring up is that it's actually very, very Biden coded, extremely Biden coded. Comes in on basically like being like, oh, these people were horrible. We're going to give people hope. Comes in, spends basically the majority of his time, and in Biden, this is much more like the second half of his administration, cracking down on pro-Palestine protests, enabling the genocide, and just setting a precedent that like you can just attack protesters, you can just like shut these things down, and everyone will be fine with it. Which is something that Trump has used. Although America's always had that element, really wasn't really setting a precedent quite as firmly as he is. With Andy Burnham, it it won't be he won't be a leftist. He won't be a leftist. There is a chance he will be not as awful, but it really depends on who he listens to, and that will be, and what will be emblematic of that is who he picks as his chancellor, who's basically, for Americans that don't know, is basically the person that controls like the money, like a minister of finance or something like that. And he came in saying he was going to pick Ed Miliband. Now, Ed Miliband is probably the only person in the cabinet with a soul. So if he did pick him, that would be a good sign.
It's a start. Yeah.
Listen, I have a soft spot for Ed Miliband. I know. Call me a liberal. It's he's not my favorite person in the world, but he still has a soul, and he likes green energy, and I like it when the planet works, when the planet is alive. He won't be great, but compared to the other options, I will fucking take it. The other people that apparently he's considering is Wes Streeting, who is the architect of all of this transphobic
Yeah,
shit,
he's going to say
and most
he's the
transphobic
transphobe.
in Parliament.
Yeah.
Yeah, horrendous. Shabana Mahmood, who is the current Home Secretary, I believe. She's the one doing all these crackdowns on on immigration and being as cruel as possible to immigrants. And there's a couple other options people are throwing that hat in, but if he picks Ed Miliband, it might be not quite as
A
awful.
shred of hope. Yeah.
If he doesn't, it's just going to be exactly the same. And by exactly the same, I mean it's going to get worse because the stuff they set in motion, you're going to need to start undoing some of that if it's going to get any better at all.
It's all going on a downward hill, and yeah, I completely agree. Oh God. I don't even know what to say. Like it's like a creator online that like covers left stuff. It's like, how many videos can I make? Be like, it's getting real bad, guys. It's getting real bad out there. What? Like screw everything. Like, I've lost all faith in electoral politics. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah. What?
true.
I
I
mean,
want to, yeah,
how many prime ministers have we gone through now? Like the fact that we've had so many prime ministers in the UK has become a meme in itself, which is then something so hard to escape because like we've been to. I remember talking about this for the last couple years. Like Liz Truss lasted a few, what was it, weeks? She didn't outlive a lettuce. Like that
yeah.
will go down in UK history, and now we've got Keir Starmer barely lasted his term. Like I think like I see that and I don't know if this is like a bit of a jump. I don't know if this is a bit of like a online lefty thinks they're saying something smart when they're not, but like I feel like the neoliberal project is coming to an end. It cannot be sustained. It has to choose. You choose barbarism, you choose fascism, or you don't and you backtrack and you aim drastically towards socialism and like progressivism. And all of these prime ministers that have come in are just trying to either maintain the wheel or not do anything, but the wheel is still turning, going downhill. Like, do you know what I mean? Does that
Yeah. No,
sound like it?
absolutely, and I absolutely agree with you. I think you're absolutely right. And it's one of these. It is one of these things that because austerity hasn't worked, because like neoliberalism has
Yes.
completely fucked us. Like with Reagan in the US and like Thatcher in the UK, completely stripped the welfare state, make it really hard to do anything. Just crackdowns, 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 and then you come in and people like, listen, I can't afford to pay rent. I can't afford my energy bills, and energy bills are going up massively.
Mm.
I can't afford food, and especially now with the Strait of Hormuz closed and stuff, the energy price is going to go way up. Everything's going to get way worse. Fertilizer's about to run out. It's going to get real bad in that respect. And what is their solution to that? They don't really have one. And
Yeah.
one of the things that is interesting is that Liz Truss came in basically saying, I am the radical right. I'm going to do the solution to this. And her solution was basically doing supercharged neoliberalism. So she would like borrow a lot to basically just to fuck
She like
everything.
tanked the
like
stock market, didn't she? Like one day or some shit. Like
yeah. But yeah, and it's genuinely crazy because but they don't have a solution. So when Keir Starmer came in, their idea is they are the middle managers. They'll come in, and if someone just manages it right, it'll be fine. If they just have the right manager, everything will get better. But that's clearly not how these things work. You have to actually have a plan. You have to actually look at the material conditions and actually try and work out and improve them. But they don't have any interest in that, so they just didn't even bother trying.
yeah.
I don't think Burnham will do a lot of it. He's got some plans. Let's see if they work. Let's see if he has bigger plans that would actually work, because the current stuff he has is not like a whole lot. I mean, there's a devolution stuff that's nothing to do with actually solving anything. If you have to make investments and stuff like that, and there's a whole restructuring the economy, you actually have to do. Like you have to choose socialism, and to some extent,
Mm.
at least, because people are
Well,
suffering.
that's
You know.
yeah,
Um,
completely. So,
but
Bunny, how
yeah,
about
they're
you?
not willing to do it.
For sure. What do you think about UK politics? I mean, obviously we'll get to like stuff you're going to come in a second, but I feel like we're just chatting away, leaving you out. What?
Yeah.
Any
What I wanted to
ideas?
ask
No,
Solvani actually is like, what have you
I'll,
heard? What's been your impression over there of Keir Starmer? Do they talk about him over there? Do they not know who he is at all?
honestly, this my depiction of him is just an incompetent leader, or just another incompetent leader. Like honestly, like that's his because they don't really go into deep into his failures, so I don't really know what he's done wrong, other than just like he's obviously incompetent. He's obviously like that's like what the like my takeaway based on what everyone is saying about him is that he's an incompetent leader, and they basically he was so incompetent he had to resign.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
100%.
that's basically from my American perspective. That's as far as like as I know of it. But you give more of like the context that like I'm missing as an American, and the other audiences that are also American.
I do feel like Trump has been he like belittles Keir Starmer because he doesn't follow
Yeah.
quite like Keir Starmer's like stuck between a rock and a hard place, but in like stuck between being someone with a soul and not. But like by having to like follow under Trump's reign, almost like a little lapdog. He's like not
Yeah.
respected by Trump, but also like hasn't done his bidding either, so he doesn't like him. Like I don't know, it feels like two like people in the school bully yard. Like, do you know what I mean? Like Trump's like if he does
Yeah,
what
with
Trump
Trump,
wants,
you
he's
have
happy.
to be a loyalist.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, with Trump, you have
like
to be
100%
a
as well.
loyalist.
There's
Yeah.
no
How you
margin.
if he say jump, you say how high.
Yeah.
That's how Trump works. So
Did you
if
see
you
that
one
clip
thing
actually, so
wrong,
funny? There was that clip
Say
of them. They were like a leaders conference. I think it was like a G20 or something. Or it's like it was one of these big leaders conferences with all the world leaders. And Donald Trump says, he turns around, he looks at Keir Starmer, he's like, United Kingdom, come forward. He just calls him United Kingdom. And he makes him step forward, and he thinks he's about to be like called up, and he looks so proud. He's so happy for his daddy to call him in. He's like, oh, it's me. And then he turns around and just goes, Stem. He's like, scoot back, like sit back down. It was so fucking funny, just utterly humiliating. He doesn't remember the guy's name. And this is after as well, like when Donald Trump picked his papers, and there's a famous picture in the UK of Donald Trump drops his papers and he just leaves them for him to pick up. And he lets Starmer get on his knees and picks up all of his papers for him and hands them back to him. And that's very emblematic of their relationship.
Yeah, and that literally represents what they're like, doesn't it? Yeah. But this is the thing. You can't
there was
have
a certain
someone...
point.
Go on.
Yeah, sorry. There was a certain point where they tried to, because when you start to get unpopular, they were trying to work out, well, what's his actual niche? Maybe he could be like a wartime prime minister, and he's terrible in domestic front, but people would be really good. And he went out and he said, I am the Trump whisperer. I'm the only one that can talk to Donald Trump. He really likes me and understands me. And it was such a funny thing to say for someone who Donald Trump obviously does not respect and only thinks is funny in the respect that he thinks he's just sucking up to him.
He has no idea who he is. Yeah, I imagine he's got like a flower and he's like, he knows my name, he knows it not. He knows my name, he knows it not.
Yeah.
Well,
also, the ultimate humiliation is Trump. Sorry, 1 second. I'll let you in a second. I just have to say, Trump actually, in the ultimate expression of this, Donald Trump actually stole Keir Starmer's resignation announcement. He announced his resignation before Keir Starmer could do it himself.
I can
like on
that.
Truth Social, Donald Trump posted Keir Starmer's going to
Oh yeah, I saw that.